Good morning and welcome to another Fife Property Market update. This is for week commencing the 20th to the 26th, so last week's statistics. Now, if you are not a regular to these shows, this is where I do a run through of all the activity that was taking place last week on Rightmove. So it's all agents that advertise on Rightmove, their statistics. Then I do a run through of what we in particular have been doing as an agency. So our sold properties that we've accepted offers on, our coming soon properties, and also properties that have now concluded so we can disclose what they have exchanged for. Then we'll do a run through of the shows that have taken place, just so you can see what to go back and watch. As always with these shows, feel free to comment if you have any relevant questions, put them in the comments and I'll come back to you. And even if you are watching the rerun, feel free to put any comments and again, we will come back to you. But as always, we will start with the figures for last week. So they should come up on the screen for you just now. So this is for all agencies that use Rightmove across Fife, and you can see it's broken down into micro regions. So straight away you can see there was 136 properties that hit the market versus 102 properties sold. So there was new listings versus 122 properties that have accepted offers and are now showing as sold subject to concluded missives. Now, if you were to do a run through, there is a real variation in numbers for last week and some that are kind of out of the norm. Now, we do say 1 week doesn't make a trend. Obviously, the next show that I do, we will have the monthly recap, which will give a great insight into what was happening into the month of July. They are really informative. But we will do a look at last week's figures. But the Cooper area, so your KY 1415 postcode, there was 9 properties instructed, which is kind of average of what they see, maybe slightly less by a couple, but nothing untoward. But 22 properties accepted offers in Cooper last week. That has been double and triple checked, but 22 properties have now accepted offers on in the Cooper area, which is fantastic to see because that just shows you there is active buyers out there. And then the East Neuk, only one property instructed in the East Neuk, which is really low for the East Neuk. We tend to see around 4 or 5 creeping up a wee bit, but to only have one, we haven't had one in a long, long, long time. But still, 6 properties have accepted offers, which is great to see. So yes, it was slightly less than what was instructed. However, there is still buyers in the East Neuk market. Obviously, East Neuk just now, with it being the school holidays, there is slightly more footfall because people are up here holidaying. They're realizing that they love the lifestyle and the location. So that's perhaps why it's contributed to the numbers. And we're saying this to clients that it is certainly a busier time for the kind of East Neuk and the fishing villages because it's obviously a holiday destination. So 6 properties accepted offers last week, which is brilliant to see. St Andrews, 10 properties instructed versus 6 properties sold. So 10 with 6, that is kind of average numbers now that we've been seeing. Obviously, there is a lot of stock in St Andrews that we still need to work through. Now, I don't know if you saw during the week, but I actually did a video and disclosed a result that we got for a property. It was Spottiswood Gardens. So if you didn't see that video, go back and watch the St Andrews page. I did a video, I disclosed how much we got over home report and just how quickly we did it. And that's me talking about if you pick the right agent that prices correctly, has a strong marketing strategy, has the reach, and then has the skilled negotiators, you can get results like that. Because as I say, there is a lot of stock to work through in St Andrews. And obviously there is still properties coming to market like the 10, but it is good to see that there is buyers in the KY16 postcode. Levenmouth, 12 properties instructed versus 8 properties sold. That again is average for Levermouth, nothing untoward. Strong market, obviously, and I will say this until I'm blue in the face. And if you know the area and you watch these shows and you know Fife, you know that it's just purely down to the investment that was put into the area and the opportunities that opened up with the commuting links. Dunfermline, 54 versus 44. Dunfermline always does sit higher than the other micro regions, again, purely on location, purely because you can be in that Dunfermline area and you can easily commute just over the bridge, whether it's your Edinburgh or Glasgow. But being in Dunfermline, being this side of the bridge, you get a lot more property for your money, a lot better lifestyle, than being obviously in the bigger cities where you get a lot less property for a lot more money. However, for Dunfermline, they are slightly lower numbers than what we've been seeing. There's been some weeks where it's been in like high 70s. So it kind of has leveled out, and that is pretty average for Dunfermline. Glenrothes, 17 properties instructed versus an 11 properties sold. Obviously Glenrothes, and likewise for Kirkcaldy. Again, they are prominent areas just because of everything that's on your doorstep. You get really affordable price points. You get all different styles of properties within those locations, but you're still getting so much amenities on your doorsteps, from schooling to commuting link to leisure facilities. If you're in Kirkcaldy, you're straight down to the prom, right along the Fife coastal path to Kinghorn, etc. So it really is like desirable areas that families and even investors and landlords will lean towards because of the availability of the stock, but also the price points and what you can get for your property. So as I say, that's your 136 versus 122. But do look out for the next show, because that is when we'll do a monthly roundup of July, which is a great insight, because we do say 1 week doesn't make a trend. However, getting the month results, that does help. So that is your last week's figures. Now we're going to take a look at what we were doing in particular as an agency. So this is our activity. So properties that we have sold, properties that we have got coming soon. So your pre-portals to look out for, and I will talk you through that in more detail when we get to it. And also properties that have now concluded, so we can now disclose the offers that were negotiated on them. But the first sold that we will put up is in Newborough, and this is Sweary. So this is a brilliant location in terms of the views that you get with this property. So yes, obviously it's an elevated plot, but it's actually at the top of the hill. So you are just looking down right across the River Tay. You can see across to Perth, and you've just got stunning countryside views. Brilliant result, sold in 3 weeks, which is incredible. So that one is, we can't disclose what it went for, unfortunately. When we obviously just accepted offers, they need to go through the conveyancing and the missive stage, so we can't disclose what they've went for, and that's why you need to watch these shows, because once they've completed, we can disclose the offer that's accepted. But the sellers are delighted because we got them an offer and secured them a buyer within 3 weeks. So not only is the buyer delighted, but also you've got obviously the sellers that can move on with their journey. So this one was a 2-bedroom upper flat, as I say, elevated plot with stunning panoramic views. We have sold a similar property just last year as well, and they are a great property in terms of they're really spacious, but also it's a great price point. This was on the market for offers over 85,000. So it's a price point that appeals to a lot of the market, whether it be first-time buyers, whether it be people moving to the area, whether it be investors, whether it be landlords. It does appeal to a lot of the market. So that's why they do tend to get snapped up. So that was a great one to get over the line. Next one, it is in Pittenweem. So this was Milton Place. Now this is a 4-bedroom, 4-reception, detached period property with some gorgeous features, plus the benefit of off-street parking, which you maybe don't think when you look at that, but actually you do have off-street parking. Obviously it's in your idyllic coastal village. It's within Pittenweem, so you can just take a short walk and you are down to the harbour, the Fife coastal path, the cafes and the wee shops in Pittenweem. So it's a great location. The family are absolutely delighted to be moving to the area. Likewise, the seller is delighted that this is over the line. Now, this was on the market for offers over 350,000. So obviously, once it's concluded, we'll be able to disclose what it went for. But just now, the seller is delighted. Likewise, the buyer is delighted as well. So that is properties that we accepted offers on. So now we're going to do a run through of what we have coming soon. So this is properties that myself and Perry have been out to value and are coming to market with us. So this is where we are giving you a little insight into what to look out for on our social media pages, because the next steps is a pre-portal. So that's where you see the agent's face, the words pre-portal, and then it's a full video walkthrough. It's almost like your virtual viewing before the property goes to your Rightmove, your Zoopla, and your S1 Homes. But the reason that we do these pre-portals is if you're in a position to proceed, and what we mean by that is you are a cash buyer ready to make an offer. So you've perhaps already sold and you've got cash sitting in the bank, or you perhaps a investor or a landlord and you have obviously cash sitting in the bank, or you are just a cash buyer. That is the people that we're looking for. This is giving you an opportunity to get in there before anybody else. But to be able to do that, you need to make an offer that the seller can't refuse. So it's letting you get your foot in there before anybody else. obviously at a premium, because it's an offer that the seller can't refuse. It's almost like your no regrets offer to secure that property and stop it going to the wider market. It's almost what they want to bite your hand off for, but that is the point of a pre-portal. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, well, I'm perhaps not that particular buyer, then reach out. We can chat with you. If you perhaps have a property to sell, we can discuss next steps and we can help you, obviously, and we can still get you registered and still get you matched with that property. So do still reach out and don't let that put you off. But that is a pre-portal. You are looking for the agent, the full video walkthrough. Make sure you watch it right to the end, because at the end we tell you the price point that we're predicting it to come to the market at. So it's key that you do watch it until the end. Plus, it is giving you that full, really in detail walkthrough. We give you the location, we show you all the outdoor space. So really do watch it all in full and then get in contact if it ticks your boxes. So to see these, you need to be following the relevant social media pages. So if you're perhaps looking for property in Cooper, the Cooper page, Levermouth, the Levermouth page, we have a page for each particular micro region. So make sure you're following the relevant pages. As I say as well, do call the office and get yourself registered so that the team can take all your details, get you registered. We can do our due diligence, and then it means that we can get you matching with properties. So once we do upload a property, you get the automatic email. So you are literally ticking all the boxes to make sure you don't miss out on a property coming to market. But that is the purpose of a pre-portal. Obviously, if you want a bit more like clarity on that, or you want to discuss it with a member of the team, reach out. We're more than happy to help you and guide you through next steps. But coming soon. So Main Street in Balcurvey. Now, this is a 2-bedroom detached cottage. So if you're looking for that cottage lifestyle, then this one is going to be a popular one. Obviously, it's a rarely available one as well, but as well, cottage potential for one level living. So we know that it's going to get snapped up and it's going to be a popular one. So look out for Perry doing the pre-portal of that one. Something else to look out for as well is the pre-portal taking place at Hay Fleming, and this is in St Andrews. So this is a property that is a 4-bedroom detached house. So that just screams family home. You know it's going to be a popular one. Obviously, I know I've just disclosed and talked about obviously the St Andrews market, but what's great is obviously this is a 4-bedroom detached family home. So that is just what people are looking for. If you keep a lookout, you do have Perry doing that one on Thursday. So keep a lookout on the St Andrews page on Thursday, and it's Hay Fleming Avenue in St Andrews. And obviously, if it does tick all your boxes, then make sure you do reach out. Likewise, for the one that we have coming in Balcurvey as well, you have Perry doing that one on Friday. So again, you don't have to wait long for that one. Make sure you're following the Levermouth page and look out for that one on Friday. And they will obviously be some fantastic properties that I'm sure Perry is really looking forward to showing you, and they will probably get snapped up, so make sure you act fast. So now we're going to talk about completed. So this is properties that have now gone through the conveyancing stage, misses have been signed, and the new buyers are enjoying their properties, so we can disclose what they went for. So the first one was Memorial Road in Methil. This one was a 2-bedroom ground floor apartment, corner plot as well, 1-level living with an extensive front garden as well as off-street parking. So yes, it was a ground floor apartment. However, you're getting so much space both internally and externally. It sold for 76,000 over home report value, which was 1,000 over the home report value. So great, obviously, result for the seller that they're able to secure a buyer, get £1,000 over the home report. Likewise, the buyer is delighted because it's a first-time buyer, so they are now on that property ladder and they have started their property journey, which is fantastic. Next one was Denwalk, Buckhaven, similar style property, 2-bedroom ground floor apartment, moving condition, again on a corner plot with 1-level living, extensive front garden, and this one sold for 82,000, which had a home report at 80,000. So again, we were able to secure the seller 2,000 over the home report value, and the buyer is likewise delighted because they're able to get that ground floor living, because we all know that bungalows are like hen's teeth. So then the next natural step is to look for a ground floor apartment. So that's why these properties do get snapped up. But again, they're also that price point that appeals to first-time buyers, investors, landlords. So that's why when you see these properties, you need to act fast. Again, West High Street, we've got a lot of apartments that concluded, but West High Street in Buckhaven, and this was a 1-bedroom upper apartment, stunning views. Now, I don't know if you watched Perry's pre-portal or the personal property tour, but she actually started and you could see the view in the background, and it was just incredible, especially because you are elevated beyond the upper apartment, completely uninterrupted, panoramic, which was incredible. Shared garden, but you did have that private entry system as well, so it gives you a wee bit of peace of mind. This one got 10,000 over the home report value. It sold for 70,000, so that's 10,000 over the home report value. So it does show you when you pick the right agent that has strong marketing, the reach, and obviously the negotiation skills, results like that. The new owner is obviously delighted that they're moving in, they've secured a property, and they've got those stunning views that you know are going nowhere, which is incredible. Now, the next one was James Street in Cellardyke. This was a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom upper apartment, but it was actually split over 2 levels, so it was more like a maisonette style. It was on the correct side of James Street. That meant you had stunning panoramic views right across the Firth of Forth. Obviously, you have your amenities within Cellardyke. You have the wee corner shop, or you can head along into Shaw Street in Anstruther, where you've got cafes, you've got restaurants, you've got the large co-op there as well for convenience items. So this one sold for 365,000. So a great result. The new owner is absolutely delighted. They can just move in and just start taking full advantage. And what a great time to obviously get a property like that when you've still got the lighter evenings and the summer months. Even a day like yesterday, you can just imagine sitting there, panoramic view. So they have literally got that concluded at the right time to just start taking full advantage. The next and final one was Tarvik Gardens in Cooper. This was a 4-bedroom, 2-reception, 2-bathroom, spacious semi-detached property. It was on a corner plot, and it was a sought-after location, but it was immaculate inside. It had a gorgeous kitchen, dining, living space, all completely open plan, a further sitting room with a gorgeous feature log burner. You had patio doors out into your decking. It really was a stunning property and a prime position corner plot. Walking distance to the school, to the park, to obviously the train station, to the high street. Like, it's just a fantastic family home. This sold for 295,000. The owners are absolutely delighted moving to the area, and it's just going to be fantastic for the family. Likewise, the sellers are delighted we've got them that price, and we're also able to help them in their journey. So that was a fantastic result. So that is properties that have completed. So if you are sitting in a property similar to those, or in an area similar to those, and you are thinking about selling, or I am selling, please reach out, because with every single one of those properties, there was buyers that missed out. So obviously we have hot, active buyers, and we want to get results for you just like we did these clients. So pick up the phone, private messages, get in touch, and we can obviously come out, we can help you, we can give you accurate value, discuss our marketing strategy with you, and how we will get you moved on in your journey, and discuss next steps. So please do reach out if you are considering a sale. Now, finally, we're going to take a run through of the shows that have taken place. So this is where we will look at the different shows that took place last week, so you can go back and see what you want to watch. Now, obviously, we do this show live every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Every Monday at 12:30, you have the Wealth Creation Show. So this is where you have Richard Cook, the lettings director, and also Jim Parker, one of the UK's most successful property investors. They are on hand discussing what a wealth creation topic is. So I'm just having a look just here. And it was actually about the efficiency improving strategies, because let's face it, we all have a never-ending to-do list, constant interruptions, a mountain of emails to get through. And these are just a few of the many challenges the modern worker faces. And trying to get through a day like that can sometimes feel like you're swimming against a current. You can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You perhaps maybe listening to this in the background while you're at work, or you're watching this and you're thinking, that is me today. Got 101 things to do, which then leaves you exhausted. But then it can often feel like you've not actually accomplished anything. And efficiency is one of the essential keys to surviving while also thriving in today's working environment. Many mistakes happen when efficiency isn't really working, and obviously it's all about working faster and not harder. But it's not about overtime and multitasking. It's about kind of streamlining and fine-tuning ways to improve the workflow, better manage your time and resources, and then boost the quality of your output. So that is what Richard Cook, the lettings director, as I say, and Jim Parker are on hand discussing, and that is a brilliant one. And I feel like that'll appeal to so many people, and also not even put that into your work life, even perhaps your personal life. If you obviously have a lot to obviously juggle, and you've got wee ones and there's clubs and there's this and there's all these different activities, that would be a great one. And I feel will really appeal to a lot of people. So do go back and watch that one. That one was live yesterday, but you can watch the rerun. Another show that took place was Perry and I did a Schools Out for Summer. So this was tips for family-friendly holiday fun. Which was a great one to do because obviously we are right into obviously the school holidays. And as we said on the show, there's one phrase that everybody hates to hear, and it's that I'm bored. So it's different tips of things that you can do, and also go back and watch it. And if you have anything, or you've tried anything locally, or if there's any events that you've seen that you want to share in it, or if you have any kind of inexpensive ideas, because that's what we've done as well. Yes, we've given options, but there is some really cost-effective solutions in there as well, just to make it obviously more affordable, because it is a good few weeks that you need to try and keep them entertained. So we appreciate that. And there is some great options in there. So definitely go back and watch that one. And then a final one was the Fife Homeowners Pocket, and how there's a 4,238 a year profit since 2005. Now that was one that we did in the middle of the week. Again, you can go back and watch the rerun, and there was a lot of facts and figures and really drilling down on how property prices have increased since 2005 and what that means in terms of profit in your pocket. And we broke it down into different property types as well to really give you the details. So go back and watch that one. And then finally, Perry also did the house price index. Now, the latest data is May, so it's May's version, and it's a breakdown of the Scottish House Price Index report, and gives her thoughts on how she thinks this could impact the Scottish property market for both buyers and sellers as well. So that is the shows that have taken place. So that is it for another week. As I say, make sure you do look out for next week's show, where I do the monthly roundup for July. So that'll give you a great insight. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I'm sure we'll see you through the week. All the best. Take care.